Welcome back, everyone, to 1 Minute Recess, where we're breaking down everything that's going on here in Nevada and around the world. My name is Annette Magnus.
And I'm Maria Teresa, your other co host. And what an exciting week. Not like big bombs or anything, but, lots of other interesting things happening locally and around the world.
Yeah, so let's get into it. What does the internet have to say, Maria?
Well, the internet had a few things to say, but we'll start with some good ones, especially lots of good wishes for our friend Steve Horner. Lots of rest in pieces. Thank you so much for that, both on all of the media platforms that we posted the episode on. So thank you for wishing him a good rest. So there's a couple ones that I want to highlight from YouTube. At Desert Dream Media says, I've reluctantly come to accept that the Read machine is no more or quickly dying. Harry wouldn't have put up with blaming voters about how the machine has been reacting to certain elections results.
Correct. Continue.
You're correct, Desert Dream Media, and you're correct on Harry wouldn't be so hastily terrible. And that is my personal opinion, but a correct one. At Matt Wilkie, hi Matt, says, we do not need a special session, but I guess see you in Carson soon. Maybe.
50-50. We'll talk about that in a minute, Matthew.
Oh boy, the wonders of legislative time. And then there's a few from the social medias. Let's see what you all have to say. Some I don't know if this is the Vinny we were talking about. If it's you, Vinny Spottleston. If it is, hi. If it's not,
Hi, Vinny. If it's you, if it's
hi
not,
Vinny.
hi, Vinny.
But at Vinny Vin
I hope that's Vinny
says
Spottleston.
same. And the reason why we can't tell is I can't on Buffer. I can't see your profile picture. I only see V. So I hope it's you. It says, "God damn, I love that Hunter Biden," and 3 hearts.
That's funny.
More love for Hunter Biden. That clip at Hike Baby. That's an awesome name. Says he is being so candid and honest, and I love it.
You do.
Which is very true. We need more of that in politics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, oh! I think this is a Flippo bot. You ready? We'll end with the Flippo bot. I haven't read this. On X, that's how you know it's a bot. On X, at Will Davis Barnes says, Flippo is not brand new to Nevada. He has lived here for 12 years. Over half of Northern Nevada residents were not born there. Notice how he says there. So I assume you are not here, Will.
Also, he lived in Las Vegas, so he's still not from Northern Nevada, even if he's lived in Vegas.
He ran for CD4, didn't he? At one point.
I believe he was in the race first for CD4, and then when Amade got out, he moved.
Yeah.
As James Settlemeyer so eloquently put it, he has jars of mayonnaise in his refrigerator older than the amount of time Flippo's lived in Northern Nevada.
That's right. And but that's what you say. Will Davis Barnes also says Flippo's campaign pointed out Settlemeyer's voting record, which has been twisted more ways than it just.
Yeah. But go on.
To educate voters on who they were voting for. No. The fact that you two are disappointed that Settlemeyer lost proves the voters were right and didn't vote for that rhino Republican. Oh my God, if there's one person that's not a rhino, it's
literally. I wasn't disappointed because James Settlemeyer was going to be good on our issues. I was disappointed because it's a decent human being versus not a decent human being. Mm-hmm. It's very simple. He will never be good on most of our issues.
No, and you know what's lovely about James Sotomayor is that he's a natural Republican. Like, when he's not good on your issues and you're debating with him, he's coming from a legitimate, like, he truly believes and he's consistent. Whereas Flippo just flips district to district, opinion
I
to
mean,
opinion.
the last name says it all. Flippo. Do you know how
it,
much fun, if we were at BBP still, do you know how much fun we would have had with this campaign? Oh, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, the name just lends itself to so many amazing campaigns.
I would totally ask you if we could do a campaign that says Flippo. It's Italian for flip flop or something,
I ain't
something like
claiming him.
that.
I ain't claiming that thing. Mm-mm.
But
No.
yeah, no, that's literally not why we were disappointed. We're disappointed because James Sotomayor's a good person
Yeah,
and a
like a
real.
decent human being you can talk to.
Yeah,
That's who we should want in these offices, even if we
mhm,
don't agree with them on
yeah,
anything.
yeah, exactly. So that's what the internet thinks. We had some good ones,
Well,
and then
thank
we'll.
you, Internet Flippobot. God, I'm so glad the trolls came out today. Mm. Couldn't just have a normal one. We were so close.
No, we were so close at having legitimate discussion. Vinny Spottelson maybe came in with some humor, but Will Barnes had to ruin it for everyone.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Northern Nevada, let's go. I want to have a graphic that says Special Session Watch 2026.
I think you're
Like
going to be wildly disappointed with that graphic.
womp womp.
Listen, it came. There was a lot of chatter about it. There was a lot of hoopla, a lot of rumors going about all the lobbyists. But I've heard it may not happen because I think he's getting cold feet. So I
What?
hear that Democrats have put their foot down and were like, yeah, no. Literally, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Or they wouldn't pinky promise not to put anything else on the agenda because of what
Mm,
happened with the last special session. And we may not have one now because apparently the governor doesn't want to call their bluff. See, this is the part I don't understand. And this is the part that's really been puzzling me. The governor has the ability in the state of Nevada to call the legislature in no matter what, right? He can call them up there at any time for a special session. He is given that singular authority. Now, the legislature can call themselves in, but there's more rules around that, right? But he singularly can call the legislature in, and by law, they are mandated to report to Carson City, gavel in, decide what they're going to do with the whatever business, and gavel out. Now, whether or not they take votes on those issues, that's neither here nor there. They have to gavel in, they have to gavel out by law if the governor calls them into special session. So we started hearing rumors percolating, early June around the primary. And we were hearing sales tax. A lot of people were talking about fuel tax. It was sales tax. Doing a sales tax holiday. And then, fast forward, now we're hearing it's not happening. Now, if the Democrats wanted to do it right, of course they were going to try and put their own issues on an agenda, right? Like, if you're going to get called up there, then do something actual, real on affordability, not like a, 1 month gimmick on sales tax, because that's what this boiled down to. Or if you're going to do a sales tax holiday and you're going to have it be for like back to school, have it be an annual thing like they do in other states where they're giving an annual discount. You're making the limits maybe a little higher in case you've got to buy a laptop or college stuff. But, encouraging people to go out and spend money and giving them a little bit of a break to do that, especially if they have big families. That would have been worthwhile. But a one-time gimmick before an election to have a sales tax holiday one time, no. So anyways, so the Democrats were like, yeah, no, we want to put some other stuff on the agenda. And they wouldn't tell him, yes, that they would agree to not doing that. And then the Democrats wouldn't agree to, not changing things up. So they told him no. And now we're like in this weird limbo.
So, what I gather from this is that all of this was just political theater for Lombardo to maybe cut an ad later.
I think, well, he can't really cut an ad because normal voters don't get what he was trying to do.
Mm.
And he's had two regular sessions to work on this shit. And he's vetoed a lot of bills that would have actually helped with affordability. So, like, if you want to do something on affordability, bro, you should have done that the last two sessions. If you have these great ideas on sales tax, you should have done that the last two sessions. You had ample time to do that. Instead, you were bragging about vetoing bills like kin care and child care and various other things. So, like, I don't exactly subscribe to that. Like, if he wants to cut an ad on some hypothetical special session, go ahead. But, like, it was a special that never happened. But if you really want to work on affordability, you've had all the opportunities in the world. And not only that, now you're admitting that there's an affordability problem and that your president has caused it. So for me, I just think it's a little bit too little too late, right? And I'm glad that the Democrats pushed back. They should. I'm just shocked that, sheriff, leader, governor is such a fucking pansy that the Democrats are like, no. And he's like, okay.
Okay.
Like, in what world? If this is apparently the bill's already written. So if the bill's already written and all the things are done and you just got to call these yahoos up to special session, call their bluff. Be that bold leader you say you are, Joe Lombardo. I dare you.
Yeah.
Look them in the face and tell them Sheriff Joe Lombardo is calling you into special session to make you do your jobs. Some nonsense.
Yeah.
If you're really going to be bold about these things, then be bold. Have the fucking balls to do it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah. If you're not willing to go full throttle on a threat, don't make it.
And my big thing is, okay, so you say you're going to call a special session. The Democrats are like, yeah, nah, we're not doing that. And you're just like, okay. That makes you've given the Dems so much power by doing that. Just rolling over and taking it. Okay, cool. We see where the pressure points are now.
Yeah. That says a lot about the landscape that, like, he's not the only sheriff in this town.
I also think it says a lot about the leadership of Nicole Cannizzaro and Elaine Marzola in the assembly, right? Because, yeah, Steve Yeager's technically still the speaker, sort of. But Elaine's really the leader now of the Nevada Assembly. And she's doing an incredible job. And I think it speaks volumes to their leadership that they literally are just like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And he's just like, okay.
Also, is this the first time we will have two women leading both chambers, or have we had that before?
I don't think we've ever had that before now that I'm thinking about it.
If so, that's even more fucking amazing that it was two women that were like, "Nope, we're calling your bluff and
Well,
having us."
and what's interesting about that is I didn't even think about that because it was Frierson before and then it was Yeager, right? I don't, and before Nicole, it was, what's his name? Who went to jail.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think that, I don't think it is. I don't think we've ever had two women.
Oh.
We've had the woman minority leader and a woman majority leader because that happened with, or a woman speaker because that happened with Dina and Barbara Buckley.
Mm.
That also happened. Both the Senate and Senate majority and minority were led by women.
Nice.
But I don't think it's ever happened with both chambers. Pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good job, ladies.
Good job, ladies.
Yeah.
Telling the sheriff no.
Oh my God, that would be.
So I don't know. I could be going up there again in a week. I don't fucking know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows a damn thing. This could all be hearsay. This could all be speculation. Me and you could be doing this from Carson State. I don't fucking know. It's not going to be next week because of 4th of July. You know, we got to rub one out for America. But past that, who knows?
Yeah. Oh, boy. The Nevada way. The Nevada way. Now with the spine, thanks to women. Well, we'll see where Annette jumps in from.
Well, next week I'll be here. So next week when we celebrate this wonderful country, I'll be here. But past that, I don't
know. We shall see. Speaking of the Nevada way, you want to talk about the PUC and how terrible it is?
Oh my God.
So,
y'all, I mean, the PUCN is a joke anyways.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know what the PUCN stands for, it's the Public Utilities Commission of Nevada. It's a propped up organization, make-believe organization that's supposedly supposed to regulate our public utilities, like NV Energy or Southwest Gas. They do a heinous job. They basically work for the industries.
Mm-hmm.
So our dear friend Chris G was out there the other day. Lots of the organizations from around the state were out there holding NV Energy accountable. And there was a big meeting. The meetings are typically held not too far from here. It's over on off of the 215 and like Sunset-ish, like that area. So kind of the southwest part of town. There is absolutely no shade over there. We have done several protests over there in our previous lives. It's all concrete and, you know, parking lot. There's nothing. It's just one big building. There's no trees. And all these organizations, all these people showed up to do accountability out in front of the PUCN and asked to get inside to go and speak during the public comment period, which is totally legal for them to do. And there were so many people that they wouldn't let them in, and they made them stand outside in front of the PUC for hours, called the cops on them, didn't have any water or anything available, and just made people wait out there in over 100-degree temperatures. I'm sorry. That's unacceptable. The legislature needs to deal with them.
100%. And it's about damn time, because it was like you had older people out there, you had disabled people out there, especially because they're the ones that get hardest hit when you have stupid things like, what is it that they're daily demand charge, whatever the fuck that means. I tried to read that, and I can't.
A way for NV Energy to get more money from us.
Exactly. Yeah. And so they're there, and you know, like you said, we've been there. I cannot believe that it's a big building, like gigantic. It's got like 3 or 4 floors, that they couldn't tell the people, wait in the halls, wait in the lobbies, wait by the elevator banks, wait at the entrance before you go into the actual PUC
it's
hearing
like
room.
It's a big office building. There's plenty of floors people could like wait in so that they were in out of the sun and in the air conditioner. Like make it people go up and down the halls.
Yeah, something, you know, humane. Like you act like you give a shit, both, you know, NV Energy and the other utilities and PUCN, like, but it shows that you don't actually care. That and all the shit you do to make money, like Annette said.
Yeah, so this article is on Channel 13. They covered it. So our friends Steve and all of them over at Channel 13, glad that you covered it. And you know, they're interviewing a couple different people. You can see the long lines of people waiting. Now that they've learned that a coalition of 6 organizations sent a formal letter addressed to the PUCN chair about the treatment of attendees at that session, including older adults forced to wait in the heat. But who cares how old people? I mean, anybody. It was way too hot for people out there.
Yeah, it's way too hot for like a regular able-bodied
Yeah.
middle-aged person. Like there was in the middle of the World Cup earlier today, the national news on Telemundo said we literally are having a heat wave and El Nino is going to make it worse and some people are going to start dying. But yeah, let them out in the heat. Let them out in the heat.
Crazy town. So, anyways, that's a thing that happened last week. I know people were pissed. One of my friends was out there, or a couple of my friends were out there doing stuff, and so yeah, really, really bad.
Nevada way just keeps Nevada-ing. But because we are in Nevada, I had to include the most Nevada headline. Which Nevada count? Do you want to know where Nevada ranks on spending on OnlyFans?
Oh, probably number one. It's got to be towards the
We're
top.
we're number 3. Close. We're number 3. You want to know who's number 1?
Utah.
No, technically it's not a state. District of Columbia.
Oh, you sickos out in DC. Wow.
Yeah, and then Nebraska. But there's a whole website that folks can see what the OnlyFans spending is. But Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada, we can say that we are in the top 10. We round out the top 10. So good job, Las Vegas. The top 3 there are Atlanta, Orlando, and Salt Lake City. So you were right on Utah being somewhere near the top. Salt Lake City
come
is the
on.
3rd.
Come on. We know the weirdos and what they like.
Yep. Exactly. But between us and the District of Columbia is North Dakota. So District of Columbia, North Dakota, and then Nevada. And then after us is Colorado.
Well, you weirdos unite.
That's right. So good job, Nevada, at getting towards the top of another wild list. Can't do education.
It's not
can't
a
do anything
bad
else.
list,
But
I
we got
guess. Right?
right. It's a fun list. It's a fun list. Supporting sex workers list. Yeah. But anywho, that's the local lowdown. Nevada's keeping on Nevada-ing.
All right. WTF is going on in the world? What's happening?
There's finally some good news. I think when you
we're gonna start with good news in this section. Yay! We think.
Yeah.
We think.
Because
this just happened.
Yeah, and when you told me, I was like, this can't be good news. That you have to be seeing some kind of disinformation or fake internet site. But according to various news outlets like the CNN, Los Angeles Times is the one I have up, Congress just now, we're recording Tuesday, 6:36 p.m. Congress passes landmark housing bill with overwhelming bipartisan voters. 2 highlights is that lawmakers and this bill seek to ease constraints on housing supply, and this package comes along after long negotiations and is reflective of public pressure on affordability. There's that word again, Annette.
Yeah, well, I guess affordability is a real thing, apparently. Who knew?
It's not
Donald Trump says it wasn't real. It was a made-up word. Affordability is a made-up word, is what Donald Trump said. But apparently, every lawmaker I know, including our own governor, who's been endorsed by Donald Trump, and now the United States Senate and House of Representatives are saying, hey, guess what? There's an affordability problem. We got to address it ahead of the midterms.
Yeah. Weird. And so, yeah, the part of me is still reading, where's the catch in this article that this isn't real, because it was the bill. I'll just read how it went down. The bill passed in the House with a 358-32 vote. It's rare that you see that kind of bipartisanship vote after it was
especially right now.
Yeah. And the Senate voted on it on Monday in an 85-5 vote. So yeah, we have a problem on affordability. And wow, I can't believe that Congress is actually working on something people care about. Um, and the bill aims to help housing supply by removing regulatory barriers to building affordable housing units. It also prevents large investors from buying up single family homes and incentivizes new housing in cities with federal funding, among other measures. The package focuses on addressing housing supply constraints and making no LA Times, I don't want to subscribe, and making federal programs easier to use. So that's pretty good. It increases access to federal programs. It's going to have lots of local funding from the federal government. Fingers crossed that doesn't get threatened to be taken away by someone in the White House. And
Yeah,
actually
we
encourage.
think dipshit will sign this?
Who knows? Hope, hopefully, someone yells at him and says, "Motherfucker, there is an affordability crisis. Shut up and sign it if you know what's good for you."
But
And
do
the
we think,
Republicans are
again, going back to Republicans not having the ovarian or testicular fortitude to do much in this country, do we think the Republicans actually have that to stand up to Donald Trump, their Lord and Savior, and say,
nope.
hey, bro, we're in deep shit. We got an affordability problem. You got to sign this bill because Americans are struggling. And your war with Iran is just making things worse.
I'm going to go ahead and say no, based
Yeah.
on how quickly the ones here left Settlemyre in the dust and got on the Flippo Trump train.
Hey, he's not he's a rhino. What a fucking idiot.
He's a literal fucking cowboy rancher.
He is in the Nevada legislature, of all the Republicans you can point out and be like, that's a rhino. The top of the list, he wouldn't even be on the list, was James Settlemyre.
No, no.
But go on with your bad selves, Republicans. Be taken over by the MAGA cult. You have at it. You have at it.
Yep. Exactly.
So maybe next week when we talk to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the swamp, we can discuss whether or not Donald Trump has signed this housing bill that Americans desperately need.
Yeah, we'll see. Who did he pick? His billionaire buddies or the American people? TBD.
It's always a big question with that one.
That motherfucker. But we do know what will come around July 4th, Annette. Permanent repair to the reflecting pool.
Yeah, so let's talk about this because this has been my favorite story the past 2-3 weeks. So for those who haven't been following along, and if you haven't been following along, I don't know how, because like you must live under a rock. Donald Trump went on a screed about how the reflecting pool needed to be repaired and it needed to be restored, and then he mandated that the Department of Interior drain it, and then probably didn't clean it correctly, and then paint the bottom of the pool, the reflecting pool, with blue paint. Did they use the right substance? That is one of the questions. Did they clean it properly when they drained it? Another question. Did they clean the pipes and all the pumps correctly when they drained it? Another question. And you also have runoff from all the fertilizers and grass surrounding it, which causes algae blooms in it when the summertime rolls around and it's hot and humid like a swamp, because they're in a literal swamp. So apparently he doesn't like it. He doesn't like the restoration that was done. So he had them pour hydrogen peroxide in said reflecting pool. And then the paint started coming off the bottom. And now he's arresting people for pulling paint off the bottom, and said vandals have taken over. The lefty vandals have taken over. And one of us have gone out there with some sort of box cutter, and they cut the liner at the bottom of the pool. So apparently we cut paint at the bottom of the reflecting pool. There are cameras everywhere in DC. Nobody cut the fucking paint.
Literally
The
everywhere.
paint was floating on the top, and people have been taking chunks off because it's fucking hilarious. that it's green again, like the color of my shirt.
That's
And
right.
listen, I wore this shirt because I'm Team Algae.
That's right. Team Algae, Mother
Team
Nature.
Algae.
Do what you want.
Do what you must. I'm pro algae.
Yes.
But now he's got to repaint the whole fucking thing, so they've got to drain it again. They tried to start draining it apparently yesterday, but they couldn't because it was raining so hard, it just filled the pool back up. I'm like, it's like Mother Nature is against you.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I'm
she's saying
into it.
it's like she's saying "fuck off." No means no. She's like, "No means no, bitch."
But could you
um.
imagine? Could you imagine? Like, you spend what? It was like 14 million something on this shit for no
Oh,
reason, for no good
yeah,
reason, because it was perfectly fine.
yeah. You just wanted it to be pretty blue, like a photoshopped picture of a pool. Like
Well, right.
no pool.
It's not a swimming pool.
Yeah, it's jeez, he's so fucking stupid and egocentric. Yeah. One of my favorite sub stories about this is that TMZ apparently has been trying to do the Lord's work, Mother Nature's work, if you will. And I know many people, hate TMZ, but them going to DC, I think, was the best thing that could have happened in 2026 because, rabid trash panda journalism is exactly what we need in 2026. And some kid who works for TMZ was like, I went to the National Parks Department office. He just waltzed into the lobby to ask them questions about all the chemicals. They didn't let him in. They didn't answer any questions, but that's what we need. We need people with cameras walking into.
Investigative journalism.
That's right. So I love, and the algae, because there's an algae threads, it's the algae from the
The
pool.
memes have been the best part of the whole thing. Oh,
And and the algae, she retweeted it with like nails painting emoji, like I'm just doing my thing here.
did you
And
see
just
the
drawing.
woman out there that's had the sign that said Team Algae?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's
Oh,
that's the right team to be on right there is Team Algae. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Fuck Trump.
Oh, man. Good old reflecting pool. Listen, I mean, we really changed the subject. We're off of Iran and the pinky promises that Donald's making with Iran. And we're thinking about the reflecting pool ahead of our 250th anniversary as a country.
Yeah. I don't know.
We've really made a lot of progress.
Does he want to make some kind of like barbecue at the pool? Like that's the only thing I can think of. Like there's going to be a surprise barbecue and then it's got to be pretty. Like why Trump?
He's not
But
gonna give anything free away.
no, no.
If anything, he's gonna charge you.
He's he's going to charge all of us from now on for living in the United States.
God. I know
Six.
I gotta do my taxes, and I'm gonna do them next week. And I'm like, man, what a life. I had to pay
Yeah.
this shitty ass government for their shitty ass services.
And you know what's crazy is that if you do one thing wrong or if you're a minute late, they will come after you like a health. But Trump, they'll pinky promise him they'll never audit him though.
Luckily, they owe me money, so I'm fine with it. I just filed an
Good.
extension because I was like, fuck Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's right. I'll pay you when I want.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of scumbags, uh, Conor McGregor has made an appearance on Jimmy Fallon. It's interesting. I usually hold Jimmy Fallon in pretty high regard. He usually is pretty cool with his female guests. He's a really good host. Like, I'm not one of those people who's gonna slam late night hosts. Like, they have a job to do, whatever. But in this instance, I'm not pleased. Because
Mhm.
Conor McGregor should be nowhere on our TV. Conor McGregor should not be propped up in our country. First of all, he doesn't even go here. Second
No.
of all, he's a rapist. And I'm
Yep.
so tired of TV and popular culture and people, like our government, propping up problematic men and people who are sexual abusers, abusers generally, people who are rapists, like, you know, the whole Epstein files. We've arrested more, going back to the pond for a minute, the reflecting pool for a minute. We have arrested more people. We've arrested 5 people in connection to the algae blooms in the reflecting pool. We have arrested 0 people in connection to the Epstein files. So I think that just shows you where our priorities are as a country, as the United States. And again, I expect Jimmy Fallon to do better because he knows better. He's actually a decent dude. He knows better. So therefore, I expect him to do better because Conor McGregor is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. He should not be a free man. He should be in jail somewhere in Ireland or wherever. And if people are like, no, he didn't, those are just allegations, they literally went to court about it. And there's
It's the
proof.
same thing we were talking about last week with the hockey players.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
have 0 patience for it. Stop
Yep.
uplifting these nasty ass predator men. Stop doing it.
Yep.
I don't like it on the Golden Knights. I don't like it as our goalie for the Golden Knights. I don't like it in the NBA. I don't like it in the NFL. It's why I stopped watching the NFL. Yeah, I don't like it in UFC.
Mhm.
Stop propping up trash men.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a piece of shit. He's fucking stupid. He's a sellout. And yeah, it's really bad on Jimmy Fallon, and everyone knows it. Like
Well, and
everyone
talk a
that's
little bit more about Conor McGregor generally for people who may not know, because you actually watch UFC. You've not liked Conor McGregor for a very long time. So this story kind of fit with the theme we were talking about last week. So I wanted to bring it in because you know the history of this.
yeah, he kind of tried to create this image of like the regular dude from Ireland that went up the ranks in the fighting world and was funny and could tell jokes and whatever. And people really liked him and attached to him, but there was always this weird disconnect. And a lot of people said that, in gyms in Ireland, people didn't like him because he was a piece of shit and he would treat women, especially women that would go to the gyms, like a piece of shit. And so they just didn't like him. It's why like lots of other Irish fighters didn't necessarily like hitch their bandwagon to him because they knew him from times past. So he tried to have this sort of media image that the UFC tried to create as well. And what I hate more than anything, probably is that he's someone that, he always talked about his like poor background and being a poor kid and that, and coming from one of the worst, neighborhoods in Ireland, etc. But yet he got into this industry. They propped him up like Dana White and everyone to be the golden boy of the UFC, and they gave everything handed to him. Meanwhile, other fighters who were also champions, who were also having really great fight records, and in the next steps to be champions, and they get nothing. They get pennies compared to like the favorites. And even Ronda Rousey was one of those. But McGregor, because he's a man, he's the one that just, and not black. He's the one that just kind of like broke all the records for how much he made and how much Dana White, and he showed it all off and everything instead of actually pushing the UFC and Dana White to actually look for fighters like him that, came up through the ranks. And so that was like before I knew there was like a rapey allegations there. I was like, this seems off that, you now are in this position and you're not doing anything for the people who are below you in the ranks and are not covered by insurance. Like UFC doesn't give them any
Yep.
insurance and they're literally getting beat up for work. They pay them very little. They don't allow them to have their sponsors on fight night, which is the biggest night for sponsorships. And so there's just so much that he just didn't actually do. And he says he's like this working man's man and all that. And I was like, that seems like bullshit. And then all these allegations came out. for in the last like 5 years they've been coming out, like, and not just allegations while he was famous, just allegations from him for years. And now he's on some kind of media comeback tour. Like every other man and person that has been terrible, they engineer some kind of way to get back. And it really sucks that Jimmy Fallon is a person that fell for that, because Jimmy, that is a you got scammed, because McGregor's a piece of shit. Um, and what sucks is that I think, the network knows, or the show, or whoever cuts the promotions for it, because apparently, in the Yahoo article on this, they said that the other guests from that night were heavily promoted, whereas Connor not so much. And so I'm like, that goes to show you that they,
Yeah, there was heavy, heavy blowback on this on the internet today. And so yeah, just wanted to bring it up because here we go again.
yep,
Yep. Never fails.
never
Rape
fails.
culture alive and well in the United States.
Hmm.
Um, Before we get into the last story, I would be remiss not to say this. Obviously our primaries are over here in Nevada, but we had primaries last week. This week we have tonight. So we're taping Tuesday, June 23rd. There is the New York, Maryland, and South Carolina primaries. And Utah is wrapping up right now. So there's a couple of states who have primaries tonight. It'll be interesting to see those results because it's first time that Mandami has been kind of tested in New York, as like a leader, as somebody who's making endorsements and stuff. So that'll be interesting to kind of watch and see how the Dems do across the board in these different states, because that's kind of what we're watching to see, like, what is turnout going to be in all these other states? Is it going to be high? Is it going to be low like Nevada? What do the Dems have to think about? What do the Republicans have to think about? Things like that. Next week, there's another series of primaries. So Colorado has one, a few other states have them. So that'll be something to watch as well, because there's a bunch of big names on that ticket as well. So just didn't want to miss that because I thought that was an important mention while we're on the topic. So, all right, Maria, you want to go through this next one?
Yeah. So, Trump says oil prices that, which reading this headline gave me whiplash. Trump says oil prices driven up by Iran war will come charging down. First of all, I thought prices weren't going up, according to him and all his bots. I thought there wasn't a war. I thought everything was fine, but now apparently they are. But they're going to come charging down. Like they are going to
Sure.
they're going to come a charging down. They are going to, because they've sent the great JD Vance and the great
Ugh.
Jared Kushner to negotiate a peace deal, and that
When
deal
I think
is,
of great negotiators, those two yahoos are what come to my head. Yeah, absolutely.
and one of the, did you see that one of those yahoos said, or was with a member, I don't know if it was of the Pakistani delegation or Iranian delegation, but with someone else's laptop, and you can tell it was like, because it
Yes.
had ID, and like he let them take a picture of like that, of him doing that. Like there's no, I don't trust you, JD Vance. It
Yeah, and, like, apparently there's all kinds of weird data that's on the screen, and, like, it's inappropriate that the data was on the screen. Then did you see, I think it was the leader of Qatar, he walked right past JD Vance as he was, like, shaking hands. No,
Oh
it was
my god.
Bahrain. It was Bahrain because, and I know this because I made the comment, well, yeah, the people of Bahrain, the government of Bahrain is pissed, as they should be, because
Mhm.
we go in there, we fucking stirred the pot, which was already chaotic. We stirred up the pot. All of them around the Middle East were getting bombed and shit. And
Mhm.
then they lost a huge amount of revenue because their F1 race in April got canceled because of the war in Iran. Of
Yeah.
course he's fucking pissed. I'd be
Yeah.
pissed too.
Extremely. Yeah. Yeah. Things are ruined. I give you land, and I let y'all do whatever you want here. I give you land for bases. and I'm the one that keeps getting bombed by fucking Iran because what? Because Netanyahu told you to?
Well, so here's the crux of this, okay? So the oil prices being driven down, which as of today, they were down per barrel. They were down. But this is all based on a fucking pinky promise that Donald Trump apparently has with Iran. And I say apparently because nobody really knows what's in the thing. Like, it's still very unclear. Clear as mud.
Mhm.
And now there's multiple stories on CNN that kind of pair with this. So, the oil prices are going to come tumbling down. But this is all the other things that happened today. Congress votes to rein in Trump on Iran in rare rebuke. So the Republicans now in the Senate, this has already happened in the House a couple weeks ago. Now the Senate has voted against Donald Trump being able to continue the war in Iran.
Woo! What has Congress had for breakfast the last few days?
They're up for re-election in 4 months.
That's the brand of cereal we're eating.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Trump keeps claiming Iran made concessions. Iran keeps denying them. And if I were Iran, I would keep denying them too, because we're the ones who had to give them $300 billion. So there's that. Trump again insists Iran agreed to more UN nuclear inspections. Did they? Trump's shifting on Iran missiles is just not adding up. These are all the headlines currently on CNN about the Iran nonsense because it's chaos. Donald Trump is chaos. And so if he's manipulating the oil prices, maybe they'll go down. Sure. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe or trust a pinky promise between Donald Trump and Iran when the negotiators are J.D. Vance and Goebbels Stephen Miller.
Yep. And last I checked, I'm not sure if this is the 50th time we wondered if the Strait of Hormuz is closed.
Yeah,
But
I was like, I was talking to my friend this morning. I was like, "Hey, is the strait reopened or is it closed today? Like, what are we doing?" And he
because,
was like, "Oh yeah, they're letting Iranian ships through, but apparently we're trying to catch up on oil now." So who
okay,
knows?
got it.
Who
Got
knows?
it. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, because,
Depends on the
Israel.
day. Depends on who's bombing who. Is Israel actually holding to the deal? Because Israel's obviously a part of this with Lebanon. Are they bombing the shit out of Lebanon? We don't know.
We don't know. No one knows. No
It
one
depends
knows.
on the day. Depends on the mood.
No, maybe the only person who knows is the girl whose card and laptop JD Vance used. Poor staffer whose
Ugh,
ID is now everywhere.
what a mess.
Good job. 250 years, everyone.
We're doing great, baby. 250 years and going strong.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, this
It's so
is,
embarrassing.
yeah. Where everything is as clear and wonderful as the algae in the reflecting pool.
All because we elected a man who threw rocks at babies.
Yes,
Had
thank
to
you.
get it in. Had to get it in.
Yes. Wow. Yes. Thank you. All because rocks at babies. If there's any reporters out there who every once in a while get to interview people, I think there should be a reporter who, no matter who it is, just asks about Trump throwing rocks at babies.
I hope Caitlin Collins does it soon.
Yeah, just fucking ask him every day. Why did you throw rocks at a baby? Just every single day.
100%.
When he says, "You're a piece of shit," be like, why did you throw rocks at a baby? I didn't.
All right, let's move into hot takes and headaches. What's your hot take or headache for the week?
My headache. My headache are the my headache is whenever I try to put on the World Cup and it goes immediately to the English channel. I don't want the boring English channel. I want the Spanish channel.
Nick
And
prefers it in Spanish too because of the yelling.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the English channel is just like, for example, Colombia's playing right now. Okay, he's corner kick, passes it to etc. Offside, and you're just like, this is the most. No, I need excitement. Like this is. I need to know what's happening. Like a telenovela. My hot take is that all the Latinos out there and Nicks of the world that are watching Telemundo, we all need to mark our calendars for July 7th when Telemundo's novela El Señor de los Cielos is coming back because that's all we can do. The least we can do to the the network that isn't going to commercials during the stupid hydration break, which is also a headache. It's fucking stupid. Soccer players train their entire lives to play straight 45 minutes. They did it in Qatar. They've done it in Vegas like temperatures before and for many other leagues and stuff. It's fucking bullshit and it's all just more money for fuck ass Infantino. Anywho.
My hot take and headache this week is LaTwyla, our dear friend LaTwyla out of Washington, D.C., has gotten me into more trash TV, which shocks no one because that is my hobby. And I have gotten my husband into it too now. And so every night, except for Wednesdays, we are watching now through the summer Love Island because it is hot, wonderful garbage, true escape. And this week, I went to Casa Amor and I got to learn what Casa Amor was. And these girls better not take those men back. I was so happy that a whole new ship of men, 12 of them, showed up at the villa and swept them off their feet. And they don't need their trash men. They need to make themselves happy and not worry about what these trash men want from them. It's a very Annette show.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful that our friend got us into this. And the best part is LaTwyla and I have a text chain where we just talk about like reality TV, but Lonnie's on it.
Uh-huh.
And so he'll go to bed and he'll wake up with like 800 messages because we're watching Love Island in real time, texting each other, as real friends should.
That's right. That's right. That's amazing.
So, yeah, that's my hot take this week is Love Island.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
If you're not watching and you need trash TV for the summer, this is where it's at. You got football, real football, and you've got Love Island.
Mm-hmm. Yep. There you go. There you go.
All right, friends. Well, that's the final bell. It's been a pleasure. I currently have a migraine because I haven't drank caffeine all week because I have a psilocybin journey scheduled this weekend. So I feel like I'm going to die. So I'm going to go pound more water and hope that helps. And we're going to call it a night. So have a great week, everyone. Stay safe. Hydrate. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends and family, share with your enemies. We'll see you next week, everyone. Bye.